今永選手が本日登板しました。結果は5回5失点。4回までは粘りのピッチングを見せていましたが、5回に捕まってしまいましたね。しかしポストゲームショーではしっかり評価はされていましたので、そちらの動画をご覧ください。
Even the best of the best arms, they have days where they want to go back to the drawing board, and that is what we saw from the throwing philosopher Shota Imanaga this afternoon. This is Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. 76 pitches, 51 of them went for strikes, but there were a pair of balls that Mr. Imanaga would love to have back. That one specifically, off of the batter number 5, Corey Seager. He's a big man. He just stayed on that one. And then Jonah Heim lifting this one up into the jet stream. The fans, they say, you know what? We want no part of this. When they threw it on back, but they weren't able to throw back a W. The Cubs weren't 6-2. The final tally in this one. They could not complete the sweep. So with that said, welcome on in to Cubs Postgame Live, presented by Yuengling, America's oldest brewery. I'm Cole Wright alongside Ryan Sweeney and Sweendog. A 4-run loss, and the biggest problem today was Shota Imanaga not being able to keep the ball inside of the yard.
Yeah, and even that first homer by Corey Seager didn't look like he got it all, and it just seemed like there was a jet stream going out to the left field, center field gap, with Heim hitting a homer later on in the game too. But Shota didn't pitch bad to me today. The first 4 innings, he was his standard Shota, locating his fastballs. But then it really came down to that 5th inning where 8 batters came up. He gave up 4 runs. So just not his normal self in that 5th inning where he was leaving the ball up out over the plate. This isn't a horrible pitch, kind of 91 middle center cut, and Corey Seager, we talked about it, he had been struggling coming into the game. Not going to miss those pitches for very long. But then you see there Jonah Heim. There's a reason why he's a catcher and he's in there DHing. He's been hot at the plate. So he goes up there and he puts out good numbers, and he's not going to miss that fastball right out of the middle of the plate as well.
Yeah, it's tough for Shota Imanaga to fine-tooth comb the opposition, especially when you're right at 90, 91. You need to hit black as opposed to hitting a big chunk of home plate, and that's what we saw today. And we also saw the Cubs not able to swing the bats as we've usually seen. Just a trio of knocks today, as we saw 12 base hits the evening before.
Yeah, and Tyler Mahle, I mean, you looked at what
he's looking like a Nolan Ryan.
He really did. I mean, only giving up 2 hits. And what he does so well, and we didn't get to really talk much about it in the pregame show since it was so short, but he doesn't throw anything out over the middle of the plate. And then when he throws his fastball, he elevates it high in the zone. You see his heat map, and it's just like he elevates that high fastball, and the Cubs weren't able to do anything with it. But you see here, this series versus the Rangers, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, only able to get 2 runs and then 4 hits, and that other run did come, in the 9th inning. So not able to do much offensively with production today, but being a cold day, you kind of assume that was going to happen. It just, unfortunately, the Texas Rangers were able to put 3 balls out of the ballpark.
Absolutely, no doubt. There is something to hang your hat on when you take a look at this series. 5-1 versus the American League, and the homestand, 6 games, 4 victories. Getting on the plane, even though you didn't get a win in this finale, you still feel pretty good about what you have to do against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Absolutely, and I think anytime you can win a series, that's a positive. The Cubs just haven't been able to lock it down in that 3rd game. But I think you take another positive out of it too. Ethan Roberts just getting called up, coming in, throwing nasty slider. Pearson only gave up that 1 home run, but he's still throwing 97, 98. So that's positive for the bullpen, who has been struggling a little bit towards the end of the game. So having those guys come in and getting some quality innings under their belt, even though you got the loss, hopefully they can take that going into the LA series.
Yeah, being able to run through the tape, that is all important. The Cubs right now 1-4 in series finales. Let's see how the Twitter sphere is feeling about it. Mikey G says, I still love my Cubs, and I still love Shota Imanaga. We all have those days. We still won the series, and he'll bounce back. Duncan, and that's right, Mike, as he says on his coffee order, dust yourself off and get ready for the Dodgers on the road. Love to all. That's the way to end on a nice little positive note. Shota Imanaga, he will bounce back. And the Texas Rangers, well, they were able to save face and get out of town with a W. Either way, the Cubs, they will not be deterred. A flight to the West Coast and a late-night game at Chavez Ravine, they'll be ready. We'll continue to get you ready next on Cubs Postgame Live. Well, it was a tough one in the series finale versus the Texas Rangers. The Cubs, they fall to Texas by a 4-spot, 6-2. And Shota Imanaga, well, he weathered the storm in the early goings. It was just that 5th frame where he was not able to keep it popping. You see right here, 5 earned runs, 7 hits, and 2 home runs allowed, doubling up his home run total all season long. So let's go straight to the source. It's Shota and Edwin with some daily reflection.
そうですね。 初回失点はしたんですけど、なんとか4回まで、試合を作れて、もう少しレベルの高い選手になるためには、5イニング目を2点に抑えて、で6イニング目にマウンドに上がって、6回3失点で、マウンドを終えるっていうのが多分一つレベルの上のピッチャーかなと思います。
5回になんかいつもと違う感覚とかありましたか？
いや、そんなに大きく変わらなかったんですけども、スプリットをやはりいい対応をしている打者に対して、少し甘く入ってしまったイニングではあるんで、そこはすごくそういう対応しているバッターに対してもう少しスプリットの投げどころとかを考えなければいけなかったです。
今日はその風の影響でっていうのもあったんですけど、去年の登板の中で、風が影響があった試合とか覚えてますか？
そうです、去年も何回か、追い風の日の試合はあったんで、そういう時にやはりハードヒット、でそのいいバレルに入ってしまうと本来ホームランではない打球もそういう風になってしまうという学びはあったんですけど、今日ももう少し低いのかしっかり高いのかっていうのを投げ分けするべきだと思います。
そのスティール選手がIL したっていうのも今日ニュースありましたけど、このローテーションの深みとか、このローテーションの自信はどれほどありますか？帰ってくるまでに保つっていう。
そうですね、みんなレベルの高い先発が揃ってるので、今日は僕はミスを犯しましたけど、きっと誰かがカバーしてくれると思いますし、もし、誰かがミスしてしまった時に僕もその誰かのミスをカバーできるようなそんな先発だと思います。
The ownership and accountability from Shota Imanaga is absolutely remarkable, but I think the question remains, how important is his bounce back going to be, especially with the news that we heard about Justin Steele off the top of the day?
Yeah, it makes it even more important for Shota to have good starts, and not that this one wasn't, but we talked earlier in the pregame how his last 2 starts he had 7+ innings, so I think moving forward that's going to be, and like you said, the accountability that he has and him already thinking like what am I going to do different next time when I know that the wind's blowing out? Like he's already thinking about, okay, I needed to either be down or I needed to be up, but I couldn't be both right over the middle of the plate. So like you said, he's a very, very good pitcher, and it just makes it more important now that you have Justin Steele on the IL, and you see it here today. Tyler Mahle, like you said, it was like he was freaking Nolan Ryan out there throwing. Exactly. Every pitch that he threw was just located where he wanted it to be, and to hold the Cubs. I know you can use the excuse that it was cold outside, but to hold the Cubs to 2 hits with the offensive production that they've been putting out is pretty impressive on his part.
Yeah, Shota Imanaga had to deal with the Wrigley Field elements this time around, and his next time out on the hill, if all goes as scheduled, have to deal with a marine layer down there in the home of the Channel 4 News team, the San Diego Padres. They will be lurking and waiting. It'll be a much different looking team than we saw just the last time around. Dylan Cease is scheduled to throw against the Cubs in a set for 3 games.
試合後すぐに次の時の対策を考えているのはさすがですね。リグレーフィールドの風は難しいと言いますからね。次の試合に期待ですね。週末はドジャース対カブスです。ドジャースの先発佐々木朗希選手と発表されています。どんな投球をするのか、そして大谷選手や鈴木選手の活躍も期待ですね。本日もご視聴ありがとうございました。チャンネル登録、高評価よろしくお願いいたします。